We're picking up a Honda XR250 today, dirt bike, not street legal. Right now it is in pieces. The engine's not in the frame, so it's gonna be quite a build if we get it. He said I could have it for 450 bucks. It was up for 500. I offered 4. He said he has 500 into it and would like to get 500. Then he came back down to 450. So we're gonna try to get it for 400. These bikes are pretty cool. I've owned a couple of them. They're very fun, very powerful, and it should be pretty fun to work on. So stay tuned. Should be a pretty good video. We'll get back home and start digging into it. Well guys, we got the bike in the back there. Pretty decent condition. Plastics are pretty decent. Pipe is there, seats there. Missing the headlight and the tail light, but everything else is there. I guess the guy said that he took out the engine because it was locking up, and he thought the valve was getting hung up, so they took off the valve cover and then it stopped locking up. So I'm not sure what it is. I'm going to take apart the whole engine and we're going to find out what the problem was. And then they said that the spark is kind of weird on it, so we're going to rewire some stuff and hopefully that fixes the problem. But I paid $450 for it, so it wasn't too bad. These bikes typically go for right around $1,500 in running condition, and the condition it is in right now. So if we can get this thing running, it would be worth some money. But yeah, there it is back there. We will get home and start digging into it. All right, we got the bike back home. I temporarily put the engine in it just for the thumbnail, but as you can see, it's all apart. Not in the bike or anything. The engine does turn over, but I'm a little bit worried about it. Here's the full look of it. You can see the seat, gas tank is pretty nice. Tires are decent, not horrible. Sprocket has some teeth off of it. A little bit rough. Missing the chain guide. Does shift through the gears. Looks like that sprocket is welded on, and the wiring's all janky on it. You can see. I'm not sure if it has spark or not, but otherwise it's got the brakes. Looks like it's missing the brake lever up here, and the throttle tube is all bent. Got the clutch cable, kill switch. Pretty rough looking. Silencer's all beat up. I didn't know that until after I bought it. It's pretty crunch, so that's not good. But swing arm's nice, aluminum. Gas tank's nice on it, except for the petcock leaking. But you can see, let's see if we can find the bin here. 1986 Honda XR250. So you can see it's missing the headlight right here, and then the tail light mounted to the back on here somewhere. Plastic's all melted right there. I guess carburetor was just gone through. Looks like that's working. So I think what we're gonna do is start by taking apart the engine and just checking everything over before we throw that back in the bike and check for spark, because apparently it was locked up at one point and then just freed itself. So I'm thinking maybe crank or like a valve got stuck. Should be interesting. Paid $450 for it, so a little more than I wanted to spend on it. Probably worth 300 bucks. But if we can get it running, 15 all day. So, alright, let's start digging into it. Alright, so here's the engine. It does turn over. Doesn't sound the greatest here. Sounds pretty clanky to me. So let's start tearing into it and see what's wrong with this thing. Start with the valve cover up here, take that off, and that'll tell us all we need to know about the valves, basically, if they're opening and stuff. So we'll see. Should be a big project here, but I don't know how those wires got cut. I'm guessing the chain, probably. But if we can get this thing reliable, we can stick her back in the frame and hopefully get this to be complete. Let's check and see if there's oil in it. There we go. Wonder if they drained it or not. There's like a little bit in there. I'm guessing they drained it. You can see the silicone, the blue on this case, so I'm guessing that was open at one point. Missing a couple bolts here and there. So should be fun. Right, we're gonna start by taking out the valve cover, seeing what those rockers look like, and all that fun stuff. Hopefully they're not too bad. That one's already loose. Looks like that one was already loose. So look, that one's already loose. Oh boy. Looks like this was just placed back on. That one's already loose. We'll get all these off and then we'll come back when we open up the cover. Alright, here we go. See what this looks like. Alright, so rockers aren't bad, at least. Or worn or anything, so that's good. That's one win in my book. Got the double pins there. So far so good. Cam chain's tight. Here's the gasket. That could probably be replaced. Alright, that looks pretty good. And see what's going on with it, because I hear clanking in there somewhere. Right there, it's locked up. Hear that? Doesn't go past that point. Hear that? What the heck? It's hitting on something. Almost sounds like the piston. It's getting hit. Let's see. What the heck? By the sound of it, it sounds like the piston's getting hit in there. Which it could be out of time, I guess. probably check that. Make sure it's in time. Piston's way down there though. So that's kind of what doesn't make sense. If it was hitting a valve, the piston would be at the top. Alright, well, let's take her all the way down and see what's going on. Oh man, already I can tell this is going to be a fun project. Alright, looks like this guy comes out. Looks like a cam chain tensioner of some sort. It's a long bolt. I've never taken apart one of these engines before, so this is completely new to me as well. Alright, looked up how to do it online. So what I did was take off the 2 bolts holding the cam sprocket on, and then took the cam chain, then took the sprocket off the camshaft, and then the tensioner pulls right up. I don't think it's supposed to do that though. That's kind of weird. I think it's supposed to be held on down below by a bolt, and yeah, look. So that just came right out. That's definitely supposed to have a bolt holding that on. So that could be part of the problem. That's crazy. I don't know what's going on with this thing, but yeah, that's not good. Now the camshaft can come out. Take the bearing off, makes it easier. Yeah, this is interesting already. I'll tell you that. We're just gonna let that drop because it doesn't really matter. There's the sprocket. Here's the camshaft. Looks pretty nice. So maybe someone messed it up on the clutch side because it was open and it looked like somebody was in there. So maybe that's a possibility. Not too sure. I don't know anything about this engine. So it could really be anything at this point. 2 pins right here, just like a 400EX. Alright, let's get these bolts off of here and continue this process here. We'll get the head off and see what that piston looks like. Hopefully it's still on there. Boy, oh boy. Bolts. So we're gonna put these where the head is. Looks like there might be right there, right there, right there, and right there. So there's 4 of them. Be a little bit easier with a engine stand. There's some washers in here, so be careful getting those out of there. I'm missing another one. I don't think so. Rubber mallet action. There we go. Feels like it's getting held up on something. Maybe the gasket. There we go. There we go. Ooh. That valve is done. It's bent. Really bad right there. You can see right through it. Okay, you can see the air right through it. So one bent valve. The other ones actually look pretty decent. So that's pretty badly bent. If you guys can see that though. Pretty big gap. Gasket's done for. Gasket's junk. Let's see what the piston looks like. Piston also looks like it might be junk. And cylinder's fine. I think so far. I don't think any scratches in the cylinder. You can see the piston down there. Junk, junk, junk. So it was hitting on something. I think somebody tried to time it and they timed it wrong. That's my guess. But we'll continue the breakdown process and see what's going on with this thing. Guess we'll see if it turns over now. Probably not, but we'll see. Alright, let's see if the piston goes up and down now. Nope, it gets caught. Well, I guess the cam chain's in there. What the heck just happened there? I think the piston's like in half. What the heck? Check that out. And that's with the cylinder on, so I don't know what's going on. I think the piston is broken in half here. I've never seen that happen before. That is very odd. I'm going to take the cylinder off and then we'll see what's going on. That is extremely weird. This engine's like really crappy. I guess she's toast. We'll see. I'm guessing the crank's bad. But we will see here. Alright, here we go, moment of truth. Let's see what that looks like. Let's see if the piston is in half or what is going on. I've never seen anything like this before. There we go. Let's see here. I don't want anything to fall in the... Oh man. It's completely destroyed in there. Check this out. Look at the piston. What the heck? It's like in half. What? Look at that. It is clapped out. Oh my gosh, I've never seen a worse piston than that thing. What the heck? That's insane. Look at the whole skirt, and the bottom half of the piston must be in there, and that's why it's getting locked up. Jeez. Let's see if I can find a piece come along here. Yep, it's getting locked up like instantly. Got the cam chain in there still, but yeah, that's pretty crazy. So, yeah, we can probably get the piston off of there now. Man, is that bad? Holy cow. I'd like to know where the rest of the piston went. Alright, so it spins over. Got the cam chain right here loose. I'm just gonna try to get the piston off so we can see if it turns over here. Probably is. I mean, look at that piston. What in the world? That is horrible. I don't know where the other chunks would be. They've got to be down there somewhere. Let's see if she turns over here. It's actually pretty smooth. Is it crank junk though? Hard to tell. No, crank is fine still. Doesn't feel like any up and down play. It's a little side to side. I don't feel any up and down play on it. And let's check out the cylinder here. I have a feeling that's gonna be bad as well. Let me just clear it out here. See. Ooh, yeah, a couple gouges in there. You can see right here. I mean, my fingernail can barely hit them, but you can see where the whole piston slid across the cylinder right there. Yeah, it's probably need a new cylinder as well. So that sucks. That's not good. So we're looking at new cylinder, new piston so far. And who knows what's going on with the clutch side as well. Alright, should we open the clutch side, see what's going on? I am interested to see because the whole cam chain tensioner was supposed to be bolted down and it wasn't bolted down. So that was interesting. The people that I bought this from said it was running at one point. So, I don't know, maybe just a catastrophic failure. I don't know. Alright, time to take apart the clutch side. This could be where the failure happened. So let's see what's going on in here. Kickstart off. Should be interesting. These are barely on there either. Just loose in there. So they definitely had this open as well. I mean, that's barely even on there. Not tightened down at all. Well, I have a feeling we kind of knew the damage. I hate to say it, but I mean, that's all. Those are all loose. The bad part is they were subscribers of the channel, so that kind of sucks. Kind of crappy. I think that's everything. Pretty sure. Alright, let's see what's going on here. So the cam chain is right in here. Looks like tensioner would have been held back behind the clutch area. Let's see if there's any metal chunks in the filter, I guess. That's a good thing to check for it. Filter's pretty clean. So, that's interesting as well. See if there's any chunks in there. Hard to tell. Oh yeah, there's some chunks in there. Huh. There's a metal chunk right there. That's interesting for the wires. Everything else looks pretty decent. Clutch looks pretty good. You can see. Alright, well, I guess I'll take the clutch off and see what's behind there. Alright, looking at the side cover, I mean, it's pretty hard to miss the metal chunks in the case. So, I mean, that's just a giant metal chunk. Yeah, I got sold a lemon here. More metal chunks in there. I mean, it's literally just horrible. Yeah, that's crazy. Lots and lots of metal chunks. Alright, we're going to take the clutch off and see what's behind there. There's a washer right here. See if there's any metal chunks going on. Whew. It doesn't look too bad. There's where I believe that's where the tensioner was supposed to bolt onto. Wasn't bolted on at all. Everything else looked good. Bunch of chunks. Bunch of chunks, more chunks. So it looks like the bottom end has to be split for sure. More chunks. So I can feel a ton of chunks in there. Not good at all. Yeah, it definitely needs to be split and gone through completely. I mean, I think the crank is fine, depending on how big of chunks are in the bearings and stuff. It does shift pretty smoothly, so I'll give it that, but I don't know. Let's see if there's any metal chunks in the clutch here. Looks like the filter got rid of most of them from entering here, which is good. But they're all just sitting in the case right now. Let's see where the cam chain tensioner was supposed to go. It's supposed to get bolted on right there. I'm guessing. So, it's missing that, which probably wasn't too good. Alright, well now we know the damage. I'm guessing there's just a ton of metal chunks, because half the piston's gone. So, they have to be somewhere. And when they drained the oil, I'm sure metal chunks came out of it, because obviously the oil's drained. Alright, so this thing is a big pain in the butt. I had to cut off the sprocket right there because it was welded on. You can see the welds. So it's welded on. Really hard to get off. It was welded from the front and the back, of course. And then these bolts right here along the case were all stripped out. So I had to drill those all out. You can see. I drilled out like 5 of them. So that was super exciting to do. So now we're going to split the case and see the damage. There's probably just half a piston in there, I guess. Alright, now it should be good. There we go. Oh my. Wait until you check this out. It's all metal in here. There's where the other, oh, there's a ring. Big chunks. Jeez. Definitely a half a piston in here. Oh, look at these big chunks over here. I mean, it's completely clapped out. I'm gonna get all the chunks out and then we'll collect them. I mean, look at that big chunk in there. All metal chunks. Yeah, that's great. This is a big one. Oh, it's getting stuck. Well, we now know where the other half of the piston went. We found that, at least. That is crazy. Alright, so I'm not really sure what we're going to do with this thing. It's pretty rough. So it's probably going to either be parted out or we're going to have to go look for parts. But right now, I'm more leaning towards the parting out. But anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed the teardown. More to come on that thing. We'll see what happens with it. But thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for subscribing. Until next time, we are out.